Good morning and welcome to the next podcast, Mandy Collier-talks cricket memorabilia. As you can see, we're back up with the books again this morning, and hopefully this is going to work, because what I've got to do is actually look into the camera reverse. So there wasn't any young people in the club yesterday that could tell me how to do it the other way around. So hopefully this is going to work. So touch wood, we'll be all right. So just going to a few things that turned up this week. This is a nice book here for Cricket in the Second World War, The Grim Test by John Broome, forward by David Frith. I did help him with a couple of photographs and what have you, so this is actually a freebie. So that dropped on the letterbox through the letterbox yesterday. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. There's looks like some nice photographs in here and what have you, and a tough time for all around the world during those 5 or 6 years of the war. Next thing that turned up was this scrapbook, which was put together by a member of the Paul Gibbs family, the old Yorkshire keeper. And this is going through all the tours in the 50s and cricket in the 50s, with newspaper clippings and what have you, and it's very well put together and written up. With all sorts of photographs in there. What have we got here? We've got a few action photographs there. Famous one of Keith Miller there, who will come up a bit later on. And what else have we got? There's Jim Laker's famous 19 wickets there. So it should be a good couple of hours reading there. Got a few more there with Lynn Hutton, Trevor Bailey and whatever. So that should be quite interesting. Looking forward to that. And also in that little package came some cigarette cards. These ones are Barnett & Co Limited, Test Cricketers by E.W. Swanton. On the front there's Peter Burge, and the back one would be Fred Titmus of Middlesex. So not a full set of 35 unfortunately there, but quite a few of them. So I have to look for the other ones. And these ones are from Presented with Adventure, the paper for boys. This one. On the front there's Jim Parks, so this one's World's Best Cricketers. So a nice little set. There's only a few in that one, so a few to collect on there. And then a pair of bails there from some match, probably looks like the 60s. Might have been from a Paul Gibbs match, but that I'll never know. So got a nice little set of old bails there. So anyway, behind me today I've got there's a picture here of Alec Bedser, whose signature will be coming up shortly. This one's signed Alec Bedser. This one I bought in auction when some of his stuff come up at Woking. This is his own copy. There's a nice famous photograph of him bowling in a test match. He's always quite proud of that bowling action. Just trying out his underarm deodorant at that time. Whether there was any around or not, I don't know. But it's a good photograph anyway. That's quite a nice one there, Alec Bedser. And then behind me here is some, you might have one of these, or perhaps you'll probably see them in a club that you've been around. These shields, one with Surrey Cricket Club, one with Singapore Cricket Club, the other one with the Cricketers Club of London. A little story with the Singapore one. I bought that in a antique shop somewhere in Tewkesbury, I think it was, when I had the museum. I bought that one day on the Monday, which I had the day off. So walking around and then coming back in the next day in the museum, in the letterbox was some swizzle sticks and cocktail sticks with Singapore Cricket Club on. So it was a complete coincidence that. So very, very interesting little coincidence as well. So quite all of a sudden I had quite a bit on Singapore Cricket Club. So anyway, this week on the website of Spirit of Cricket Collecting, up again come the old problem of signatures, and the Keith Miller one turned up this week, which was not particularly great. So I don't know how he managed to get that one, but it's always a problem. But a few years ago when I was talking to Dave Frith about things, he said one of the best things you can do is buy letters, because generally you'll get a proper signature on there with the letter as well. Could have some great cricket content in it, all sorts of things, personal details. So it's always a nice way to collect signatures. Rather than relying on them being genuine on eBay or wherever you might otherwise collect them. So I've just got a few here from letters. I mean, going back to the Keith Miller one, there's Keith Miller there on this letter to the Bedsers, 1989. So there's a nice genuine signature from Keith Miller on that one, but unfortunately the one on eBay was not quite like that. So that's a shame, but there we are. So that's a nice Keith Miller letter. And in return there was this one to Mr. House on Hotel Windsor newspaper in 1955, which was from Alec and Eric Bedser. Now Alec and Eric Bedser, they signed Alec and Eric Bedser, or they signed AV or EA Bedser. I did have a chat with them one day down at a match at Guildford, and they said, well, one was for business and one was for pleasure, but whether that was correct or not, I don't know, because I've got AV and Eric and Alec on letters and signature sheets and what have you, so perhaps they got that mixed up. But anyway, it's a nice letter there from 1955. Another one here is a nice one here from Len Braun, beautiful signature from Len Braun and lovely handwriting. This is, I think he's going to meet Freddie Brown at Lord's, this one's saying to him. So again, nice cricket content really, and a lovely signature from the old Surrey and Somerset player. So you don't get many of those. I mean, new signatures are just worthless really. I mean, I've stopped collecting new signatures really, they're so poor. You can easily fake those if you like, just by going like that. Anyway, this one here is to Harvey Day. He was an author in the 50s and what have you, and a lovely signature of DR or Douglas Jardine, full signature on there. He was putting together a players match for the authors and writers, I think it was. It's got his house address on there, 197 Winchester House, Old Broad Street, EC2 on that one. So a lovely signature there of Douglas Jardine. Another one here, lovely old George Hurst signature on the bottom of this one. Nice letter to Jack Hobbs. Quite a bit of personal content and a bit of cricket content. So that's quite a nice one to have there. But again, genuine signature of George on the bottom there. Another one here, G.F. Watts, who was a Victorian artist, well-known artist who painted some pictures of the likes of Alfred Min and Fuller Pilch. But again, that's quite easily abused, that one, by snipping off that there, and you can set it off as a signature, and that's it. But you lose all that content in that letter, which is a great shame. It's got his headed paper on there as well, so nice one there of G.F. Watts. A lovely one here, Charlie McCartney. Nice signature at the bottom of there. This is answering a request for to Mr. Lamb for a signature when he was they were residing at the Hotel Cecil in London, which was their base when they were in London, which in fact was the first headquarters of the RAF many years or a few years later. So a nice one there of Charlie McCartney, which is quite a proud possession. Another signatures that you can probably generally rely on, but again, in a couple of weeks ago there was a dreadful one of the 1948 Invincibles. Every signature virtually wrong, and on that one there you can see there with Bill Johnson, he's got an A there, which is like the Eiffel Tower, which is quite a significant identification. And I sit there with Arthur Morris and whatever. This is the Coronation Tour 1953, so that's a nice set to go by. And another lovely set here, which really lovely, beautiful signatures, 1926 Aussies, Andrews and Oldfield, Maley there. And who else have we got? Gregory, Richardson and Woodfull, beautiful signatures. And the last set there is Everett, Ryder and Grimmett. And you can imagine they've been taken out of a lovely autograph book, which would have been absolutely superb to look at and a great document to have. But unfortunately, that's the life, and these dealers take them all apart. So there's a few on signatures there. So if you've got a problem, and you always join up on the site of the Spirit of Cricket Collecting on Facebook, which is a great page. Some great collectors on there that can give you advice. I mean, I've got a big collection, but I certainly don't know everything about it, and there's people on there that know things that you probably wouldn't even dream of. So always ask a question on there if you get a chance to sign up to it, and there's a question there to be answered. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little podcast, and I hope it's turned out okay with the camera back to front. So anyway, catch you on the next one. Cheers.